I know a name that you absolutely love, you've done extraordinary with, has been Palantir. It made a breakout recently, and then a couple of days later, someone put a sell rating on it. You've always said that Wall Street does not understand this company.
Yeah, they don't. They really don't get it. They didn't get it at $6. They didn't get it at $10. They still don't get it now, even as it's crested 30. This is about using data in ways that humankind has never anticipated, and they are the only company out there that does what they do. They do it with civilian contracting companies. They do it with the military. They do it with government agencies, and they are unabashedly in support of the shareholder.
Palantir Technologies, often shrouded in the mystique of its early government contracts, and secretive founder Peter Thiel, is making headlines once again, but this time in a manner that suggests it's morphing into the Messi of AI. If you think that's hyperbole, think again. Esteemed tech analyst Dan Ives recently gave a bull case price target of $50 for Palantir, setting the market abuzz with the kind of excitement typically reserved for breakthrough product launches. Interestingly, this comes as Palantir has clocked a staggering 67% gain this year alone, reviving memories of its meteoric yet volatile ride since it went public. What's the fuss about, you ask? According to Ives, and supported by recent data, Palantir's AI capabilities are nothing short of transformational, pushing it into both government and commercial sectors with newfound vigor. Yet, this AI-fueled journey isn't just a free ride to the top. Beneath the surface lies a series of critical analysis and mixed sentiments that paint a complex picture of the stock's future. So, let's dig deeper. But first, if you want to keep up with Palantir's latest updates and keep up with the stock market's latest news, you can follow our Twitter account. We post multiple times daily about the biggest changes and catalysts in the market, so click the follow button if you don't want to miss the newest market updates. Now, back to today's video.
And what should the average retail investor do? Will Nvidia continue to remain the dominant force in the market just as tech bounces back? Or will we see a leadership change? For more on this, Michael Noss is Chief Market Strategist at Trade Ideas. Michael, what do you think?
You know, trends, we have to bet that trends are going to persist, right? So I'm not going to call a top on Nvidia or anything like that. But at some point, we need to see this rotation continue. And we saw a massive spike in IWM, small caps, and pretty much the rest of the market last week. And I think that was just the beginning. You know, at Trade Ideas, we do a lot of data. We look at what happens when these breadth surges happen. And it's generally not the top, right? You generally don't see all of the rest of the market catching up to the leaders at a point where that leader completely falls. So what happens generally is you have that leader continue higher, but then you have the rest of the market catching up. So I do think we saw the start of the rotation last week, and I think it's going to continue going forward.
So you see a leadership change where perhaps other parts of the market are stronger, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Nvidia is not investable.
Exactly. So a rising tide lifts all boats. So if the rest of the market is going to move higher, then Nvidia likely will as well. It just might not be to the degree that we saw, you know, where if the S&P 500 is going to move higher, it's going to pull Nvidia with it, as opposed to what we saw at the beginning of this year, which was kind of Nvidia pulling everything up. So that change maybe occurs. So we're basically talking a rate of change when we come to a leadership change scenario.
The astounding growth in Palantir's share price is largely attributed to its strategic pivot into artificial intelligence. With AI being the buzzword of the decade, Palantir's leap into this space couldn't have been more timely. Their artificial intelligence platform is being adopted faster than blockchain jargon at a tech summit, causing significant upticks in their commercial revenues. According to their Q1 2024 earnings report, Palantir's commercial revenue surged by 27% year over year, with U.S. commercial revenue outpacing at an impressive 40% growth. This performance is not just market hearsay. Precedence Research forecasts a whopping annual growth rate of 23% in the AI software market through 2032, potentially creating a $1 trillion opportunity. However, before you grab your broker, remember that not everything that looks valuable or true turns out to be so. Despite the stellar numbers, some analysts remain skeptical. How many times have we seen tech stocks balloon only to pop like a bubble? If past bubbles were fueled by irrational exuberance, Palantir's future might be restrained by its high valuation. Currently trading at 182 times forward earnings, it's as pricey as a gourmet coffee subscription. Whether this valuation is justified or just another example of AI mania propelling stocks to celestial heights remains a hot topic among financial experts. But why do many analysts insist on remaining positive despite the arousing concerns? That's what we will go through now. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Investocracy.
I was curious, Dan, reading your note, what had changed or what different information that you had to take you to that bull case? Because it looks similar to the case that you had made before for the stock. So was there more data that you were gathering to get you to 50 here?
Yeah, Julie, it's just in the almost 100 customers that we've spoke with, the conviction level is increasing. I think deals accelerating. And I think what we're seeing on AIP conversion is even stronger than we expected. Now, does that mean for this quarter, for next quarter? But when I look out the next 6-12 months on Palantir, I think this is going to be a golden child of AI. And right now, I mean, institutionally speaking, it's very negative because I think many don't understand or appreciate the true, what I view as the competitive moat that Karp and Palantir built.
It was interesting, Dan. I was talking not too long ago with Brent Thiel over at Jefferies and covers Palantir, and he was encouraged by what he saw in Palantir's business and fundamentals, but he was staying on the sidelines, and it was a valuation call. He just thought it looked pricey, but you don't share those concerns here.
Josh, I get the valuation argument, but it's very similar to how I viewed Microsoft and Apple and Tesla and so many other names, that you have to view it as a sum of the parts. You got to view it on what's the commercial business worth, what is AIP going to drive, and then put some multiple on the government business. And I think when you start to put those together, I mean, you could start, 35 is our base case, but then you start to get to a bull case $50 into next year. As this goes to the second, third, fourth derivative. And I don't know how you could have a basket of AI stocks and just dismiss Palantir. I mean, that's sort of our view, and that's been our conversations with investors, even though it's a very contentious name.
On the flip side, bullish believers like Dan Ives argue that Palantir is akin to the Messi of AI. According to a Wedbush report, AI spending is becoming a major budget item for IT, with Palantir poised to capture a significant chunk. With government contracts and rising commercial adoption, Palantir's growth story is compelling. Adding credence to this optimistic narrative is the growing adoption curve for Palantir's offerings. Management highlighted during their May earnings call that customers are not just experimenting with AIP, they're scaling their usage. A fascinating metric is the 22% year-over-year increase in Palantir's remaining deal value, sitting pretty at $4.1 billion in Q1. Further proving its staying power, the company noted a 39% spike in its remaining performance obligations, indicating that customers are truly invested for the long haul. Then there's the often sarcastic take on Palantir's immense cash reserves, a $3.9 billion cash pile with zero debt. It's like finding out your neighbor's dragon collection actually breathes fire. All this adds an extra 6% reduction to its already sky-high valuation when factoring in cash reserves. And then there's Cathie Wood's ARK Invest, which recently boosted its Palantir stake by acquiring 199,372 shares, signaling robust confidence. Even investment banks are singing Palantir's praises. Bank of America analysts maintain a buy rating with a $28 price target, citing the company's remarkable growth in both the defense sector and commercial space. Despite such bullish endorsements, Palantir faces real challenges. U.S. government agencies are exploring homegrown data mining platforms, and enterprise competitors such as Salesforce and Alteryx are not sitting idle. These clouds could cast shadows on Palantir's ambition to be the default operating system of data across the U.S. government. So, with all of these givens, what might come next for Palantir's stock? Let's find out. But first, If you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
Dan, I'm sure you're aware of some of the chatter, you kind of referred to it, that's out there lately. There is some skepticism creeping out there on AI. Edison Lee over at Jefferies just writing today that what we're seeing right now in tech in terms of the sell-off isn't actually about geopolitics. It's not actually about concern over China and Taiwan. It's actually about concern over AI's return on investment. I know you don't agree with that, clearly. But, you know, what do you think that's about? Is it just that people are getting impatient here? What do you think? Or do you think that they have a point?
I mean, look, this sell-off, I can tell you from all my conversations the last 48 hours, it's the Trump, Taiwan, China war, right? I mean, those comments, and obviously he'll speak tonight, you know, and then you factor in what potential Trump second term, what does that mean in terms of the AI trade? So I think that's this sell-off. But Julie, I think when me and Josh talk in the next few weeks, and Josh is wearing his pink sports jacket, I think we're going to have a massive tech earnings season for tech, for semis, for software that changes the narrative. But I always say, I mean, you can see AI on your spreadsheets or in the 10th floor of your New York City office building. And I think that's why we spend so much time around the globe, and there's no denying this AI revolution is probably the biggest tech trend we've seen in the last 40, 50 years.
Diving into Palantir stock right now could be a calculated risk worth taking. With its current positioning, Palantir has masterfully navigated the complex terrain of government contracts and is making considerable inroads into the commercial sector. According to analysts, the company's revenue is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 20% from 2023 to 2026, and GAAP EPS is projected to rise at a compound annual growth rate of 56%. It's not mere jargon, it's a bullish scenario backed by hard fundamentals. The current stock price, hovering around $28, represents an intriguing entry point. Whether it's the impressive $4.1 billion in remaining deal value or the sudden spike in U.S. commercial revenue, Palantir isn't just riding a temporary AI wave. It seems to be building a sustainable moat around its business operations. Ultimately, Palantir's future appears promising, but not without its nuances and risks. What's your take on this? Are you ready to dive into this AI revolution? Or do you see red flags that warrant caution? The stock market is a thrilling ride of ups and downs, and with Palantir at the forefront, it's bound to be even more interesting. In conclusion, Palantir Technologies represents a fascinating medley of robust earnings, potential risk, and enormous growth opportunities. Whether bulls or bears, the market's eye is fixed on Palantir, making it one of the most captivating stocks in 2024. So, as always, do your own thorough research, but don't shy away from sharing your insights. The future is AI, and who knows, Palantir might just be leading the charge. But what do you think about Palantir stock? Is it a buy at the current price? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. And don't forget to tell us what your valuation for Palantir is. If you would like to know what companies like Palantir have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.